Judgment is coming. Judgment is coming. Those people who have done this wickedness will carry their own shit with their own hands. So mark my words. Judgment is coming. There will be the judgment of God, the judgment of history, the judgment of posterity, and the judgment of humanity. Yesterday, this weekend, Ohaneze Ndigbo leaders and Afenifere leaders and Pandef leaders from Niger Delta were all in southern Kaduna on a fact-finding mission. The peoples of the middle belt of southern Kaduna, we have a newfound solidarity with the south. Our destiny does not belong in the north.
Since we are living in a democracy, people from the north who wish should not be bound by that slogan.
By which slogan?
One north, one people, one destiny.
They were never bound by it.
Good evening, viewers. This is BVI Channel 1, and we are back again on Matters Arising. I still remain Asuchenod Peters, telling you the undiluted truth. This is the second day of this same program to carry other people along who might have missed it yesterday, when the Nigerian people from the Middle Belt are rising up for their freedom from oppression. So there are so many demands, and I promised you that if there are more concerns, we will continue on the program today. For the benefit of those who didn't join us yesterday, we are talking about the indigenous people in Nigeria, and we are narrowing our discussion today on the Middle Belt agitation for freedom. Because before now, they are all mopped up as Northern Nigeria. They are all enveloped by the broad caliphate of the Arewa nationhood. Today, they want to stand out and answer their name. It didn't start today. In case you don't know, let us refresh your memory in the years past, when this whole thing or agitation by the Middle Belt started. Let us refresh your mind on it. I'll be right back very shortly. Then we'll open up the lines for you to make your submission. Let's get to that. I'll be right back.
And therefore, today too, since we are living in a democracy, people from the north who wish should not be bound by that slogan.
By which slogan, my lord?
One north, one people, one destiny.
They were never bound by it.
Today too, people, since we are living in a democratic environment, people have the right to choose whether to be bound by that slogan. Is that true?
I don't understand what you mean bound.
You understand perfectly. You are a lawyer like myself, sir.
Yes, because the question does not arise.
Today, in today's political setting, Nigeria is a democracy. People who hitherto had belonged to northern Nigeria through the accident of history and who choose will not be bound by one north, one people, one destiny. Am I right?
You are wrong, because ever before they themselves were not bound. They were never bound before, neither are they bound now.
So why am I wrong? It's still a
I didn't say you are wrong because I didn't understand what question you're asking me. It's as if they were in the past bound and now they are free. They were never bound. And as of today, they are not bound. You are free.
Sorry, sir. In your evidence in chief the other day, you were asked and you did mention the Middle Belt. And you say that officers from the Middle Belt, the Middle Belt has no right to complain because they have been compensated, etc., etc.
I've never remembered saying any such thing.
But did you mention the Middle Belt?
I did mention the Middle Belt as part of the regions in which there were demands for the creation of state, which was given recognition as part of the Minorities Wellings Commission. They were given the recognition when 12 states were created. They became, those vociferous Middle Belt in the north became Benue Plateau State. And today they are Benue State or Plateau State.
Today, sir, you said the Willings Commission. Do you have a copy of the Willings Commission to prove what you are saying right now? That they were given recognition.
Pardon me?
Do you have a copy of the Willings Commission of 1958 to prove
I don't have.
Take a look at this one, which is a certified true copy.
thought we've tendered it.
Yes, sir. My Lord,
Yes.
I applied to tender it as an exhibit. Look at page 104.
No, first of all, has it been tendered?
No, sir.
I want to tender it now.
I applied to tender it now.
All right.
Certified through copy of the Willings Commission of
Exhibit
1958.
87.
Yes. Where they mark minority areas. Show me anywhere that the right of the Middle Belt agitators was recognized, because they recognized others.
That was not what I said.
What did you say?
Exactly. I will
Well,
repeat
it's
what
one
I
by
said.
one.
He
so you can
mentioned the Willings
Oh,
Commission, that
what
they
page?
recognize the rights of the Middle
Counsel,
Belters.
what page of exhibit?
Page
87?
104, sir.
104.
Yes.
Yes. Yes, minority areas. Yes.
What's the question?
Yes.
Page 104. Want him to read it?
Throughout the report, that is under minority areas, recognition was deliberately not given to the Middle Belt agitators, but was given to other minorities. Calabar, Western region, Midwestern region, etc., etc.
There was no
It's
Calabar
not-
State, my lordship.
No. Areas from Calabar, I may
Yeah.
not be very accurate, the report is there.
Why not ask him to read it? We listen
My
to
lord,
what-
I'm
read it.
sorry. I have another
107,
report. that will tell you that you are-
104.
Page 104
Yes,
to the end, which deals with minority areas.
yes.
The Middle Belt was not mentioned. Am I right?
You may be right.
Did you send a memo to Willings?
My
Did
Lord,
you send a memo to Willings?
whether we sent a...
A memorandum?
No, my Lord, we want to know the truth. We are talking about Middle Belt agitations, and I believe the Commission will be interested in knowing, because the Willings Commission appears in their own response. So the Commission would have interest in knowing what the Willings Commission
The
decided.
question from the chairman is that these areas whom you are claiming have been excluded in the report, did they make submissions to the Willings Commission?
Sorry, Council.
Yes, my Lord, the made submissions, they are there.
Let me help you.
The submissions
Yes,
the Middle
yes,
Belt
they made-
people made are there.
They made submissions.
Yes.
I don't remember the details now, but
They
at
are
least
there, sir.
I remember reading the Willings Commission report. I think, with hindsight, what is said about the minority agitations in the North was something like this. Whereas it granted some concessions to minorities in the South, it argued that the problems of the minorities in the North would be dealt with by the then Northern Regional Government. With hindsight, you might argue whether that was the right decision or not, but my memory of the report was that it was, at the end of the day, left to the
Untouched.
Northern Regional Government to
Yes.
deal with. I think
You know,
that's...
that left untouched, and that
Yes.
is what I want to extract from him. Other regions had their own matters tackled, but the Willings Commission refused to tackle the issue of the Middle Belt. That is why today we are still talking about it. Is that not so from that report?
It is not so.
Show me where they tackled the issue of
I will
minority.
not show you. I have report that will show you that the minorities, the thief, the people in Plateau made submissions to Willings Commission. Willings did made recommendations. And what I was adverting to in our submission was that the creation of 12 states rather than regions gave recognition to the political entity of the minorities of northern region. So you had Benue Plateau, you had Kwara as a state, as opposed to regions.
All right. The late Sir Ahmadu Bello, whom we respect, was the premier of the northern region.
He was democratically elected.
Yes, of course. October 1, 1954. Take a look at this book. He said, "My life." It was published in 1962 by Alhaji Sir Ahmadu Bello.
Yes.
I applied to tender it, sir, as an exhibit. Page 215.
$215, yes.
My life
Yes.
by Sir Ahmadu Bello.
Yes.
Read the underlined portion.
All the
I have
underlined.
applied to tender it, sir. Let them mark it.
The whole page is underlined.
Yes, it's relevant to our case.
You wish that I read all?
215.
Or from where?
Exhibit 88.
Yes, from where the ticket, the most embarrassing
Yes,
commission.
right.
Most embarrassing. Pages 215 to 216.
I read as follows. The most embarrassing commission was the one on the minorities.
Yeah.
This wandered round the country listening patiently to scores upon scores of people who thought for one person or another, for one reason or another, that their area should be carved out of the region in which it then lay, claiming that they did not get a fair deal from the party in power in the region. There were three groups which made the most noise. Two of these were in the other regions and need not concern us.
Yeah.
But the third was the group advocating the so-called Middle Belt, a long slice of country running along both sides of the River Niger and Benue, with an extension to cover the plateau and southern Zaria.
Yeah.
Apart from the fact that it would be physically difficult, if not impossible, to administer such a peculiarly shaped area, there was nothing to show that the various people making up this group would in fact agree amongst each other if they found themselves involved in a new region. It would be only too likely that further fragmentation would ensure fairly soon after such an arrangement had been made.
Okay, in order to cut a long story short, go to the page 216, the last paragraph underlined. From the commission produced, that is the Willings Commission.
The commission produced a very lengthy report of which the northern section occupied about 1/3 of its volume.
Yes.
They made some suggestions about the eastern and western regions, which are only just being implemented, but agreed that the north should be left as it was.
Yeah.
They did not accept the proposals put forward to constitute a Middle Belt region and were against any interference with our boundaries. We therefore had no reason to complain of their findings. Since then, the whole agitation has died away into a few infrequent rumblings on the horizons of the Tiv Division and the Birom country of the High Plateau.
So from this book written by the Premier of the Northern Region himself, the Willings Commission did not attend to the agitations of the Middle Belt region.
It attended to it.
From this, what we read,
He attended to it and make recommendations.
that we are dismissing
You
your
may-
case,
you may not agree
go
with
ahead and be existing, while other regions.
That was their recommendation. You are entitled to fault it, Your Lordship, but that is their recommendation. They attended, they listened to them, and they made a recommendation.
Would
May
you
not agree with it.
Would you agree with the suggestion that the Middle Belt is a creation of the Southern media?
Good. That is exactly how it all started. The Middle Belt agitation for their freedom. Before now, we all have been mopping them up as the Arewa North. But today, with the circumstances around Nigeria today, they are beginning to feel the heat and understand what Biafran people stood for. Now, the prophet, the man that saw tomorrow, a man we respect so much of blessed memory, today spoke about these things. He was like a voice in the wilderness crying from the middle belt for the liberation of not just the southern Kadunas, but all entrapped nationalities, as they call them, northern minorities. Talking about Dr. Obadiah. Listen to his exposition while he was alive. And when we come back, we'll throw the lines open and accommodate all your submission. Then we'll find a way out of it, because a lot of people need this information. Let's take a look at that very briefly. I'll be right back.
Talks about judgment day. I agree with you. Judgment is coming, because you cannot disembowel pregnant, expectant mothers. You cannot kill innocent children and elders, and their blood touches the ground, and God will not judge. Judgment is coming. Those people who have done this wickedness will carry their own shit with their own hands. Excuse my language.
It's all right.
The time is coming. Mark my words. Obadiah is a minor prophet in the Jewish Old Testament. So mark my words. Judgment is coming. There will be the judgment of God, the judgment of history, the judgment of posterity, and the judgment of humanity. Obi, look, I've heard this thing, Obi, from Ejigbo. I have Ndigbo friends, very dear friends. Yesterday, this weekend, Ohaneze Ndigbo leaders and Afenifere leaders and Pandef leaders from Niger Delta were all in southern Kaduna on a fact-finding mission. The peoples of the middle belt of southern Kaduna, we have a newfound solidarity with the south. Our destiny does not belong in the north. We are no more northerners, and we shall never be northerners. We shall either stand on our own or join the south. Mark my words. Mark my words. But Kaduna, we have a newfound solidarity with the south. Our destiny does not belong in the north. We are no more northerners, and we shall never be northerners. We shall either stand on our own or join the south. Mark my words.
That is it. And I believe you've catched the glimpse of what we're talking about today. The freedom of the oppressed Nigerians. And we're looking at the Middle Belt. But you must understand that it's not just about the Middle Belt, but about all indigenous people in Nigeria. Every one of them is suffering the same fate. We've been talking about the Fulani Caliphate, the Fulani Caliphate. The ones that are worse than the Fulani Caliphate are the political class, cut across board. They are from the east, north, west, and south. They are Christians, they are Muslims. And they are united in their plan and determination to keep your lives miserable. I'm telling you honestly. And until these disjointed indigenous people trapped in Nigeria who are victims of Nigeria unite themselves together, break down the wall of ethnicity and religion, which was plotted by this political class, they can never be free. Honestly speaking. And why we decided to ensure that we continue in this line of conversation is to enlighten our people the more, especially the Biafran people who suffered most during that genocidal war between 1967 to 1970 and continued up towards. And the animosity and pain inside them, inside the Biafran people today, is the Middle Belters were used by the Fulani North to massacre the Biafrans. And many of them are yet to go beyond that pain of the past and look at the prospect of the future, of the tomorrow, of the freedom every Nigerian is yearning for. Today is no longer about Biafran people agitating for freedom or self-determination. The Oduduwas are doing it. The Arewas are even doing it. The Middle Belters are beginning to rise up to answer their own names, saying that they are not part of the North. And you know that before now, everyone, if you are from the South, if you are from the old Eastern region, which is actually the well-defined borders in Nigeria, as it were, before colonial masters, then the colonial masters, as they are living, they left Nigeria as a tripod. The tripod they pulled together during the amalgamation to create this crime against humanity today you call Nigeria. I'm telling you honestly. Because if it is not so, tell me otherwise what Nigeria is to you, if not a crime against humanity. If not that all Nigerians are victims of the impunity happening in Nigeria. More than you can ever think of in any other country. But we are not going to dwell in the sentiment, because every one of us are victims. We cannot continue to look at fellow victims of Nigeria as your enemy. Your problem are your political class. They can even answer your name. They can even come from your village. They are united in their plot to make your lives miserable. And that is what we are here to dissect. And that is why it is important. Every Nigerian must run around this campaign to unite all indigenous nationalities in Nigeria, to redefine this contraption called Nigeria. And that is the only way there is hope for their freedom. The lines are already open and calls are already coming in. Good evening. This is BVI Channel 1 and you are live on Matters Are Rising. Your name and where you're calling us from, please.
My name is
Ucha Abuchi. You are calling from United Kingdom.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead, Ucha Abuchi. What's your submission?
Yeah, my conclusion regarding, let me, because I had all what others related to try to state, what is going on there today as Fulani henchmen and Fulani is killing most of them there. But apart from that, if you look at back to 1966, during the time that Gowon was a head of state, the same Fulani that are killing his own people now, slaughtering their people one by one, taking all their land, all their properties everywhere, conquering everywhere, are the same Fulani that used him during when he was a head of state, and he slaughtered 3 million of Igbo people, I think, all in the name of the Northerners. So even if the plan too are saying that they are no longer the Northern state, that they prefer to join the West, they prefer to join the Eastern region, according to what the guy said yesterday. I don't believe that. Why I say I don't believe that is if they're really serious on what they are saying, that they want their freedom, either they join and they don't want to join Northern or they remain as their own. I believe that Gowon himself is still alive, as old as he is. He's supposed now he's in exile. He is afraid because he knew that if he still remains in that country, that the Fulani are going to kill him secretly, because he knows the history of Nigeria and he knows the history, mostly the history of his state, Plateau State, because you know what is going, what was going on, what is going on now, and that is the reason why he went to exile. And I'm expecting him, as an old man, as an estate, as a statesman. He was a statesman before. I expected him now to show the light, to he should show right now that he is still alive by advocating peaceful separation of Nigeria. Because if you look at what is going on in the north, Fulanis are very dangerous human beings. They are demons. They are very destructive. They can't look at how many of them. Maybe Fulani is about 5 million, or let's say 5 million of them. They're not even up to 5 million. You see how they try to conquer all Nigeria. And even the money that they are using to bribe Nigeria is the same like the our oil wells that they are sucking. I think they are in charge of it for since 1960 up to date. They are using that money to rob it, all the prominent men, all the politicians in Nigeria. And they are there and they forget, they don't know the agenda that these guys have in that country. So to my own view, and people are now aware of what is going on, I believe that this is a time that every state in that country should grab this opportunity and let that country be splitted. Because number one, we don't have the same culture. Number two, we don't have the same traditional. Number two, we don't have the same religion. We don't have the same set mindset. Everything is different. And this one, they don't like people from Westerner. And they don't like people from Southeast. Even Yorubas, even Igbo, they don't like them. They believe that they are special. They believe that they are more important than others. So what is the sense of having, what is the sense of that war that we had 1967, 66 to 1970 that ended? A lot of blood were shared, both sides. I thought that now because of that sacrifice that we made during that war, that they should have used it for the betterment of that country, that Nigeria. If you look at Rwanda today, after this genocide, they kill a lot of themselves. But now in Rwanda, if you go to Rwanda, Rwanda is more or less like an Europe today. What is the essence of that sacrifice? That blood that they shared, millions of blood wasted. Up to today, things are still happening. Okay, you don't like the Igbos. Why wouldn't you allow them to go? Allow the Igbos to go. You don't like them. You don't want them to be a head of state in that country. You don't want to have any prominent position. Why would you allow them? Allow them. You don't like somebody, why should you keep them? It's just like husband and wife. When there's a dispute between husband and wife, the best thing is separation. Everybody should go on his own way. But you see, keep them, still marginalizing them, still oppressing them, still killing them, still denying them their right and everything. What is the sense of being one Nigeria? You don't love these people, you don't like them.
Anyway, my brother, you are still beating up that sentiment which we already know about the suffering of the Southeasterners in Nigeria. Today we are talking about other ethnic nationalities in Nigeria that are suffering same, not only the Easterners now. And you made mention of Gowon, whom we know is part of the criminal or part of the privileged class. Let me use that word. Part of the privileged class, which you don't expect them to be part of the liberation of the oppressed. The oppressors do not take part in the freedom of the oppressed. Now we are talking about the ordinary people of Middle Belt, not just the Middle Belt, but minorities of the North, including in Boronu, Taraba. All of these places, there are minorities of the North whom have been conquered by the Fulani Caliphate. And today, they have no voice. Today, they are dying in their droves, in their numbers, and nobody is speaking for them. Now, the Easterners, you can agree with me, there are even people on the East, the so-called Biafrans, who are part of the political class, political hegemony, that have held the entire country bound. The same is also applicable in other parts of Nigeria. So the essence of this sensitization is to unite the suffering people of Nigeria together to free themselves from the impunity of Nigeria. You made mention of Rwanda. Rwanda wouldn't have healed if the people did not unite. Because it is the people that produce a government after themselves. When people continue to blame politicians of corruption and all other malpractice, especially during the election, I keep asking them, who rigged the election for these politicians? Have you ever seen a politician carry ballot box? Have you ever seen a politician rewrite election result? Have you ever seen politician renting crowd for himself? Other than the same suffering people of Nigeria, from the east, from the west, from the north, from the south. They are the people who are rigging elections for these same politicians. And every day we keep crying victimization, victimization. The essence of this program is to unite the ordinary victimized Nigerian. Do you understand that? Do you understand that? Are you still there? Do you understand? Do you understand what I just do you understand what I just narrated to you now? Do you understand exactly what I just narrated to you now?
Because of these Fulanis have created a tribalism divisions in Nigeria. You know, these guys are very clever. I think but I don't know. Nigeria don't know the worth of Igbos. It's only the Igbos are the tribe that can stand for Fulani's agenda and Fulani plans. We are his only Igbos can wage war for them.
But historically, my brother, you are not getting it all completely right. Historically, my brother, let me tell you, even the time of Usman Danfodio, he didn't step his foot in Igbo land because some people stood against him and put a stop to his jihad in that middle belt.
Yeah.
So don't say that these guys are cowards or they cannot stand up to fight for their freedom. What we are saying is the ordinary people uniting. This is no time to play the ethnic drum. This is the time to unite the ordinary people. That is the essence of this program. We are trying to do everything possible to unite the suffering Nigerians. You can agree with me that only the Igbos cannot free themselves from Nigeria. Only the Yorubas cannot free themselves from Nigeria. Only the Middle Belt cannot free themselves from Nigeria.
Even among the Igbos, they have divided us.
That is what we are talking about.
Even if a state are saying they are not Igbos.
No, some of them, no, it is about some of them. It is about some of them and some of them that are beneficiaries of the political class that are still saying that nonsense.
I'm still
Anyway,
there.
let me let you go and answer and take other callers. There are other callers who are on the line. You might call back later. Thank you very much. Hello, good evening. This is BVI Channel 1. You are live on Matters Arising. Your name and where you are calling from, please.
I'm calling from Medugri, but I'm from Benue State.
Okay, I guess you called yesterday. I guess you are the one that called yesterday.
Yes, sir. Hello?
Go on. Go on. You have the floor.
Something I want to make mention of so that we'll understand very well. I always tell people that I respect the Igbo people. But I'm from Benue State and I have a lot of history of what is going on in Benue State. Even though we have been working underground for years now, not today. The whole thing is this, yes. I overheard somebody, one of the callers, saying that, okay, a lot of injustice was met on the Igbo people from the Middle Belt. I'm from Aguila local government. We are sharing Aguila village. We are sharing boundary with the Eza people, the Igbo people. I know what my parents passed through, and the story, even some of my uncles that lost their legs during the Biafra war. Yes, the Nigerian army used our village especially to attack the Igbo people, and the Igbo people launched a lot of all these canister into our village, and they killed a lot of people. Even when the Nigerian helicopter came, it killed our own village people, thinking that they were Igbos. So both the Middle Belt, all the villages at the boundary between Nigeria then and the Biafra nation then suffered a lot of casualties too. A lot of my village persons run to Biafra. Some went into Nigeria. So if we continue deliberating that, okay, Biafra people suffered during the Biafra war, forgetting that other nations, especially the Doma tribes, a lot of persons run towards Otupo because they could no longer stay within the boundary between Biafra and Nigeria. A lot of them died. My father told us how much their father and his parents have to run down into Otupo in order to survive the clash between the Biafran soldiers and the Nigerian soldiers. A lot of mines in iron buckets, have been planted in our villages, even down to around 1991. One of my grandmother happened to go to the farm and her leg was cut because of all this crisis. So we cannot continue dwelling on who is at fault, who is not at fault. We have to be looking forward. If you talk about the first person who was trying to divide Nigeria was Gideon Oka. He's from where? He's from Gwe local government, a thief man, during the coup during Babangida's time. I think it was 22nd April 1990 when he attacked. His plan was to push away the Sharia, cut them away from Nigeria, let them have their own country, so that from the middle belt down to the south will be Nigeria. He has a very good agenda, but due to his statement on the radio, instead of waiting for the coup to settle, he started announcing that, okay, from Katsina up to KB, down to Maiduguri and the southern part of this present place, the Newman. We call that area
Newman. In Adamawa.
Down to Taraba and all these places will belong to Nigeria, and these other parts, they will push them away. Let them have their own country. They cannot be in Nigeria because of what? He saw the agenda that is to come in future. So if we continue dwelling that, okay, the middle belt, this one, the Igbo people, the Yoruba people, we can never unite as a country. Sometimes when I look at this country, I'm so much, because I've traveled wide. And anytime I go to different places, I don't see how unique and beautiful everybody is. But continue dwelling on all this, who is at fault, who is not at fault. You are going to the east. Okay, now I'm in the north. They call me Southerner. I'm from Benue. They see me as a southern person in Maiduguri. But if I go to the south, when I was in Port Harcourt, they call me Hausa, Onye Hausa. And when I'm in the north now, they call me Nyamiri. What will I do? I'm from Benue. I always tell them I'm from Middle Belt. I've never been a northerner, and I will never be a northerner. If there's war today, I'm going to defend Benue State. We are not afraid of war. We like it. It's just that when Otom was coming, Otom collected all the guns from all the youths in Benue State. And that was why they were able to even kill this guy in Benue State that was helping Benue to defend against the Fulani people. It was all planned by the APC. You know, Benue was very, very okay. They have to kill this man in order to make sure that, okay, Benue people and the youth can no longer defend themselves. But at the end of the day, all this agenda was perpetrated by Akume. And when Akume was not going okay with Otom again, it was somehow too late because already the harm have already been done. So the agenda of making sure that Benue is weak and for them to perpetrate, to enter Benue and start moving towards Ebonyi and the rest is already there right from the one, and we know it. But thank God, in Benue State, to a great extent, we are not allowing them to take over our land and everything. That's why sometimes if you don't go to Benue, you will not know. The lithium that is in Benue is even the major cause in which they are trying to make sure that there is always crisis. Go to Benue, even the present governor in which claims that he's a reverend father. 3 days when he entered power, he stopped them from mining the lithium to take them to Cameroon. But immediately, when he discovered that there is money in it, I don't know how come the APC government put it under carpet. Presently, about how many local governments are there? Nobody is there. Except those few vigilantes that are hiding in different parts of the forest there. But the rest, nobody is there because what a lot of lithium are in Benue. And they are taking them, and the governor is aware, everybody is aware, but everybody is quiet. And they are taking them to Cameroon with trailers. So these are some of the things in which we have to be looking at. But continue saying that this one is this one is that. We are all one. Right from day one, even in the middle belt, we already know that yes, we are different from the Northerners. It's just that some of our political elites always, because of money, and they know the Fulani people have a lot of money. There was a meeting that happened 3 years ago. Just because of that meeting, I entered a lot of trouble in Meduguri here. When they were dividing Nigeria in front of me. About how many countries came? About 12 countries. Fulani people from 12 countries came into Meduguri. I was supposed to be the one monitoring the projector. I refused to do the projector. And Mauga told me that you, this man, you continue refusing to take order or to do. I said, I'm not going to do it. That's how I escaped. Other people have to do some of all these things. And they started showing different parts of the country where there are good arable grass and other things. So these things are there. It's just that everybody is so blind and nobody wants to say a thing. Even me, if you say come and say some things, I will say, I don't know. Because of what? I don't really know what is going on. You can't just come out openly and say this is what is going on. But a lot is going on. And it's so calculated that people don't know. Even the president don't know. If I want to say, a lot of people don't know. Nobody is saying what they ought to say. Everybody is somehow quiet. And this is how they were sharing money after the whole event that day in the name of Ruka. That was about 3 years ago. Yes, 3 years ago. So these are some of the things. But I wish we should understand that there are some elements that are not part of Nigeria that have captured Nigeria. And it's so funny, it's little countries. From Mali especially. And they are here. One of the big men was even from Senegal. And they are here doing all these meetings and sometimes all these things.
To capture the land of the...
Nigeria, we are busy fighting ourselves instead of waking up and calling the Ayo to Tukauno according to how Benue people always exclaim. To understand that we are one, we have to stand up because it's a minority people that are just doing this thing, dividing the entire country. And we, the majority tribes, the Yorubas, you can't tell me that, okay, I'm not against the Fulani people, but all I know, the Fulani man is not from Nigeria right from those days. They don't have a single...
They are not in...
Say, this is the land in which...
No, they are not indigenous. They are not indigenous in Nigeria. That is a fact.
But they are controlling Nigeria, our wealth and everything. If they should tell you that, okay, there's a rig in which they are drilling oil, even from somewhere in the north now, you will be shocked. But who knows? A lot.
So now let us take this very important aspect of what you've just said. You know, you are just like more or less what Ndibo will say, Nankabus gozu onyocha. Ebugoye no. Ebutoyani no. What it means is that it's like a white man's corpse. If you carry it up, they say no. If you carry it down, they say no. The middle belters, if you carry them to north, they say no. If you bring them to south, they say no. Like what you narrated, your experience going up north, they'll be looking at you as a southerner. When you go down south, they will see looking at you as a northerner. Now, among the middle belters, somebody asked this question, I think from the comment section. He said, let me try to get that very question. I think he was asking about the geographical description of this middle belt in Nigeria today. I'll get to his comment, but that's exactly what he was asking. What is the geographical description of this middle belt, and how are they divided, or how many ethnic nationalities can you find within this space called middle belt? Because we know that even the large chunk of land they say that the north is large in Nigeria can be found in the middle belt, and they are mostly farmers. What's your assertion on that?
Just from Benue alone, we have about close to 19 different tribes in Benue alone, and 3 major tribes, but the rest are still there. If you go to Plateau, we have a lot of tribes there. If you go to Adamawa South, the Newman and all those people fighting every day for their land and everything. they are part of the Middle Belt. If you go to the Nupe area in Niger State, almost majority, let me even say 80% of the Niger State, downward to Kwara and all these other regions, they are Middle Belt. All these regions, they belong to what we call Kwara Kingdom of those days. The Nupe, the Igala, the Idomas. The thief people are just naturally hunters, and they are just mercenaries. Any tribes that needs them to go to war, right from those days in the 17th centuries, they're always there. They don't believe in any god. They don't worship any gods. They don't do all those things. So if the Igala people need the thief people today, they are there. If the Juku people need them, they are there. That's how the thief man is. And they don't believe to be under anybody. That's why when the Jihadist people came, they fought vigorously and they defeated them. So these are some of the things then. But we in the Kwara Kingdom, right from those days, we always know that yes, if we not unite together, because there are a lot of smaller tribes there, if we not unite together, just like when the Igala people were fighting the Benin people, they will easily conquer the other persons. So that was why we united and we call ourselves the Kwara Kingdom of those days, before even the coming of the whites. So these are some of the things. The Middle Belt land, almost the land in which the North seems to be claiming. I'm telling you the truth, down to Adamawa. All this region, southern Kaduna, up from even some part of Bauchi, southern part of Bauchi, down to this part, the whole of Raba and the rest, Nasarawa, all these people, they are in the Middle Belt. To Abuja. Go to Abuja, you even be surprised to see some tribes there. Even their culture, the way they celebrate New Yam Festival, just like in Benue, in which we celebrate our own New Yam Festival and the rest. All these things are there. We don't have similar culture with all this other part that you can say, okay, we are from the far north. No.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that. Your very submission is really an exposition, digging deep into the historical facts that many people don't even know. So we really appreciate you. We really appreciate you for your submission and that historical in-depth analysis of the circumstance of the Middle Belt. And we hope that those who are watching and listening, especially those from the southeast, the south as they call them, the southwest and other parts of Nigeria, will realize that it is time for the ordinary Nigerians to unite for their freedom and redefine Nigeria. Okay, if it should be a federation, let it be a federation. If it is to attend to all Nigerians, everybody go and answer your name. There is no part of Nigeria that cannot stand as a country. Even the Middle Belt that we are talking about, is the landmass and their population is bigger than so many countries in Europe today. And they are well established. Even the North, the core North, they have what it takes to stand as a country on their own. The West and every other part of Nigeria. Okay, so all of this confusion they are creating, and you cannot see a reflection of a better life for an average Nigerian other than death, misery, and pain. That got to be put to a stop. And always the people who are sacrificial lamb for Nigeria existence are the suffering Nigerians, whereas the oppressors remain the political class. Thank you for joining the program tonight. Thank you very much. And we still have some other people who are calling. Christian had been here, but we are still taking some of your calls. I don't know if Ndubisi is there. Ndubisi, you come online because a lot of these calls have really not giving you the opportunity to express your opinion on this matter. I want you to come forward and give us your own insight, because coming from the Biafran background, especially from the angle of people who are yet to understand the nature of Nigeria and the agitation in general by indigenous nationalities in Nigeria, some people are still very unclear about the entire process. Ndubisi, let's get your opinion on this minute.
Yeah, thank you, Chinedu. Good evening to you, and thanks for the wonderful job we've been doing. You've given a platform, a historical platform. This is a historical. BVI is historical, representing the future, the noun and the future. Now, I must admit that the confusion started from 1914 when the white men came into Nigeria for business transaction because their purpose in this part of the world is just to transact business to make profit for their home country. So they do not have our interest and is understood. Every country is selfish and every country thinks of their home country first. You know, it's only Nigeria that thinks and takes care of outsiders more than their own country. They see their own country, men and women as slaves. And now, of course, will remind anybody that cares to know that Nigeria is not a nation. Nigeria is an amalgamation of different nations. And that is why the confusion started, like I said, from the amalgamation of the business entity called Nigeria. We have to understand that fact. And that's why I started by laying this background for us to we need not and we need not start creating further confusion. Like the guy that spoke before me said that we should not play much on the past by passing blaming one another of who played this role. This my father killed this person, and this person is a coward, or this person is a hero, or this. No, 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 no. We shouldn't give them opportunity to continue to divide us because this is the instrument they have, the instrument of vision handed over to our forefathers, and because they are masters in the game, they have perfected the act of division. And from that, our forefathers' mistakes, they have continuously represented that strategy they have, even upon this generation. So, hence, this platform, BVI, has given everybody, all the indigenous people of Nigeria, opportunity to understand where our problem started, where we are presently, and where we are getting to tomorrow. If you understand this strategy initiated by the colonial masters, transferred to our fathers, and then perfected by the present political class and economic class, we will have a clean mind and straight mind to discuss about our present situation and then proffer solution. Because why we are here is to proffer solution. And in proffering solution, we are here to organize the people. And the people we are organizing are all the oppressed indigenous people in Nigeria. Now, Chinedu, having said that, this, I don't want to waste much of our time. I want this thing to be a discussion class so that I will give other people opportunity or people dropping their messages, asking questions. We draw inspiration from what they're saying and again make conclusion. I want to conclude by saying that people here should know that we are here for solution. We are here not to pitch tent with the oppressed, our oppressors, but to pitch tent with all the oppressed, all the indigenous people. Now, all the oppressed indigenous people belong to one tribe. There is two tribes in Nigeria. One, the tribe of the oppressors, and oppressors are the wicked and selfish political economic class. I'm not saying it's all the politicians. There are politicians with conscience, and there are some politicians, some governors that have interest of their people at heart. All I'm trying to do, I'm bonding all of them together. That even if they are the governors do well, the tribe of the oppressed and the indigenous people, watching them with satellite looking at what they are doing. If they get it right, we project them and promote them. But where they are making mistake, we'll call them, we'll draw their attention and tell them that if you continue like that, we will not get you to power again. See, once the people, elected people or people in government are afraid of the masses, you know that the people are winning. But once they get to the power and they don't care about you again, they don't fear you, you know that you are not getting it right. And that is the essence of this platform. Because I heard that the guy that spoke last saying that I may not hear what the guy concluded, but I think I heard him saying that even the Reverend Father that is governor of Benue State is not playing the expected card. Maybe he's playing to the gallery or he's playing alongside the wicked political class. I may not be correct, but the point I'm making is that this platform is a watchdog that will organize the people and empower the people to always be vigilant, to watch those elected servants in government, call them to order, and where they are not listening, we push them aside. But we have to understand exactly what we want, the meaning of good governance. That is where I'm drawing my conclusion. Thank you,
Thank you
Chinedu.
very much. Thank you very much, Nduwisi, for that, your submission. Like you pointed out, we are going to take a look at some of the commentaries that are coming on from our social media handles, on our WhatsApp, on our Facebook, on our YouTube channel. Don't forget that this is streaming live from all our social media platforms. You can watch it from BVI Channel 1 YouTube, both on our backup channel, which is BVI Channel 1 Plus. You can also follow this program on Instagram, search BVI Channel 1. Follow us there. Also, we are warming up to actively get involved in X platform and also on what do you call it? TikTok. We are going to TikTok it from next year. We are on X platform, we are on TikTok already, but we are not really active there. But we're going to extend this message there because we have a lot of active people there that need to get this message. Okay, and the least you can do is to help us by sharing and also follow us so that we, especially on TikTok and on Instagram and also on the X account, so that we'll be able to extend this live broadcast on those platforms. All right, so that is very, very crucial. Then for the comment sections, let us quickly go through them before we wrap it up. And don't forget that this is the last live broadcast we'll be having this year. And afterwards, we'll continue updating you on daily basis. There is no day that will not be coming up with a lot of updates. Okay, we are going to be dropping the updates, and we are also going to go live, but it may not be in this manner. Okay, we might be doing our live broadcast from different angles and different places, but it is not going to be matters arising as we are doing it today. Okay, but you keep informed. There is no day that you will not be informed about happenings in Nigeria and beyond. All right, so let us quickly take this commentaries. Then from there we wrap it up. Starry Pride said the middle belt must be free. Sunday Joseph mentioned that a Kerala minority. Okay, maybe he's mentioning one of the ethnic nationalities there. Ekechukwu Edwin said, what happened to the sound? Well, I believe the sound is coming out very well because we've checked that already. Thank you for that observation. And the sound is coming out. Check your listening device to ensure that it is up and running, your earphone or your speakers. Thank you, Ekechukwu Edwin. Now, Agbase Ochima said, I think he's the guy that called from Borno State. He said, we have never been Northerners. I am angry when people call us from Benue Northerners. The Northerners right now, the Northerners right from independence call us Southerners, and the Southerners call us Northerners. Now, if this goes on, Yeah, Ebugoen, no. Ebutuoyani, no. When. Sometimes even BVI is put in that position that people will say, hey, we don't know where you stand. We don't know whether you are for Biafra or for Nigeria. That is because their listening and thinking faculty is not balanced to apprehend or comprehend what we are saying. The gospel we are preaching here is unbiased. Okay. Very soon we are going to be wrapping up because we have very little time. We have very little time, less than 5 minutes to stay here. Okay. So we have Douglas Bello. He said, can someone clarify me, is Plateau State middle belt? Yes, Plateau State is middle belt. Urobo Boy said the volume is too low. Oh, sorry about that. We are going to fix all of that by next year. Okay? Douglas Bello said, BVI, the issue is not about who helped them snatch ballot buses, but the INEC selection. Yes, it is the activities of the snatching of ballot bus, intimidating of electorates by political touts, all contributes to INEC result. The rewriting of the result in INEC, those people that are working as INEC officials, including even INEC itself, all the returning, whatever they call them, the professors from different universities across Nigeria who have turned to become professors of rigging election. Are they not suffering with the rest of other Nigerians? Are they not part of the suffering Nigerians? They're not the part of the political class. How much did they gain? Have they not finished it? Maybe they paid you 50,000, 100,000 to work in one way or the other. At the end of the day, even one bag of rice can consume your entire salary. May God help them. So, my brother, we know what we're saying. The BMS Wisdom said, middle belt of Nigeria, Old Plateau, Nasarawa, Old Gongola, Nana Adamawa and Taraba, Niger, Kwara, Kebbi, Benue. The Federal Capital Territory alongside Southern Kaduna are all middle belt. At least he has given us a clear picture of what middle belt is or what it looks like. Okay? He said, Shinedu, I support what you are saying. Let all the indigenous people of Nigeria organize themselves to liberate themselves completely from Nigeria. The Fulanis are not indigenous to Nigeria. That is NG. The BMS Wisdom said, historical Northern Muslim brought Fulanis to Nigeria by reason of Islamic religion, and because of Christians, we are higher in population. He went further to say, as in the case of Afonja in Kwara State, the Fulani there subjugated the Northern Muslims, traitors in the Nigeria and the Christians. There are a lot of things that he said there, but the bottom line is that we will continue in this advocacy for the freedom of ordinary people in Nigeria. And the only way we can start this possible emancipation of the people from impunity of Nigeria is through quality leadership. Nigeria has to be redefined. Every part of Nigeria must come to the table. It is a process. It's not by sentiment. So I just hope our people will understand this and appreciate this information that we're dispersing. And as we are wrapping up this year, we hope that by next year, more of this exposition will be coming up from this platform, and you'll be gathering more people so that from this, they'll be able to understand the direction of their freedom and where it's going to and how it's going to happen. NBC, give us your closing remark. Just about 2 minutes. You have about not more than 2 minutes, so that we wrap it up on this section. We have less than 2 minutes to wrap up. In fact, you have 1 minute.
Yeah, greetings to our people, our fans, our followers, all the believers of good governance, those who believe that it is possible that we can actually give ourselves good governance. That the problem with Nigeria, or the problem with the indigenous people of Nigeria, is with just few political and economic elites. And because the masses and the indigenous people of Nigeria are docile, and because they are religiously blind, they don't just believe that anything is possible, they are waiting for God to come down from heaven to change the system. Or perhaps they believe that manna will still fall down from heaven to fix the system. Even those indigenous people who believe that it is not possible for this country to be together, or that it is possible that the only solution is for Nigeria to divide. I give it to everybody. Whatever thing you believe and you desire is what you get. But on this platform, we talk of solution and we talk of process. We are looking at the possibility of achieving that thing you desire. If you desire to have a nation, it is not out of place. Nigeria is the biggest black country of the world. And Nigeria as a country is not indigenous. It's a name given to us by Lord Lugard, by a foreigner. It is not manufactured by indigenous people of Nigeria. And people said we have lived for a long time, for 100 years, that we cannot, it's not possible for Nigeria to divide. But yet, it is not, it is possible for empire, even built 1,000 years ago, to collapse. It is possible for Nigeria to collapse. But on this platform, we are only looking at the process through which the institution or the house can collapse, or if the house must be together, how the indigenous people with different identity can coexist together. Just like you have United States of America, you have United Kingdom, where you have England, you have Ireland, you have Wales, you have Scotland, different countries, different nations going to World Cup, but coexisting. So all what we do is to look at the possibility of achieving our heart desire, and we can do it together by all the indigenous and oppressed people coming together to speak freely from your mind without imposition, without anybody forcing you to say what you want to say. Chinedu, thank you, and happy Christmas in advance while we continue the message.
Thank you very much, Ndubisi, for that very submission. We appreciate you for joining the program tonight. And to all our viewers across board, even those of you who are joining us from Facebook, we really appreciate every one of you and hope that we are going to see you all by next year when we resume our live interactive section again on Matters Horizon and other live program on the studio. But don't forget that we'll continue bringing you updates from this platform non-stop all through this season. All we pray for you is safety and the best of the season. And we hope that by this year, we together as a people will be able to get the value of life we desire and deserve as a people. And that can only happen when the people are united in purpose to be free from bad governance. And on this, I am signing out and hoping that you all will continue in this, our crusade. Keep liking, keep sharing, keep following all on all our social media platforms. And we appreciate Oranusi Okechukwu, those of you who are calling, who are viewing us from Facebook, we appreciate you, who said that middle belts are being slaughtered on daily basis by the Fulanis. We know that. Okay? We appreciate Obonnaya Mpume, Nwadan Danda, and the rest of you from Opadi. Every one of you who have joined us, we appreciate you and hope we are going to see you back again next year, which is just around the corner, about 2 weeks from now. This year will be wrapped up. So this year, we hope to have you guys back. And on this, I'm signing out. Stay safe, stay alive. That is the most important thing. I still remain as Sushil Peters, wishing you the best of the season from BVI Channel 1 and GGM as a whole. Bye-bye for now.
Judgment is coming. Judgment is coming. Those people who have done this wickedness will carry their own shit with their own hands. So mark my words, judgment is coming. There will be the judgment of God, the judgment of history, the judgment of posterity, and the judgment of humanity. Yesterday, this weekend, Ohaneze Ndigo leaders and Afenifere leaders and Pandef leaders from Nigeria Delta were all in southern Kaduna on a fact-finding mission. the peoples of the middle belt of southern Kaduna, we have a newfound solidarity with the south. Our destiny does not belong in the north.
Since we are living in a democracy, people from the north who wish should not be bound by that slogan.
By which slogan?
One north, one people, one destiny.
They were never bound by it.